Hi, welcome back to Faith Series. Hope you enjoyed the lesson about Jacob last week. This week we will be learning about his son Joseph. Joseph was an incredible man of God. In the Bible, we don't see much written about his flaws. There are a couple of other people I can think about. One is Samuel, one is Daniel, and the third one is Joseph. Joseph was a dreamer, and his father loved him a lot. And because of these two reasons, his brothers hated him to the point they wanted to kill him. And at some point, in fact, they decided to kill him, and they threw him into a cistern. Then they thought it's not a good idea to kill own brother. Then they decided to sell him to Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt. But even in Egypt, life was not easy for him. He was working under a person called Potiphar, and his wife started liking him, and she wanted to sleep with him. Because he was unwilling, in the end of the story, she blamed him, saying that he was trying to sleep with her. And his master caught him and put him into jail. And he had to be there in the jail for many years. But one thing about Joseph, he still did not leave his faith in God. Looking at his life, he had so many difficulties in his life. But what made him special is he never left faith. In fact, it was very easy for him to drift away from faith because he was in a foreign country. There's nobody to guide him, nobody to help him. But he decided to stand strong in faith and do what was right in the eyes of God. And in the end of this particular episode, what happened is that Pharaoh came to know about his ability to interpret dreams. And he interpreted Pharaoh's dream, and he became second in command in Egypt. At that time there was a famine, and his family was struggling in Israel for food. And they came looking for food in Egypt. And Joseph was in charge of many things in Egypt. And he was in charge of the food. He was in charge of collecting the grains and everything. And he was even in charge of distributing those. And his brothers came to him. They didn't even recognize him in the beginning. But at some point, he revealed himself to his brothers. And that's a very touching part. If you read in the Bible, we'll read that part where he is revealing himself to his brothers. We'll read Genesis chapter 45, verse 4 to 7. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "Come close to me." When they had done so, he said, "I am your brother Joseph, the one you sold into Egypt. And now do not be distressed and do not be angry with yourself for selling me here, because it was to save the lives that God sent me ahead of you. For 2 years now there has been famine in the land, and for the next 5 years there will be no plowing and reaping. But God sent me ahead of you to preserve for you a remnant on earth and to save your lives by a great deliverance." See, here we see Joseph's attitude. When Joseph's brothers realized that this is Joseph, they were actually terrified. They thought he is in a very good position now. He is in a position to destroy us. He is in a position to kill us. He is in a position to take revenge. They were really scared. But Joseph had a great attitude. He was willing to forgive them, And according to this verse, he was actually comforting them. He was telling them, don't even feel bad. He was actually not even wanting to make them feel guilty. That is a great attitude he had. Bible says in James that when we go through struggles, when we go through difficulties, that matures us. And that's the same thing happened with Joseph here. He became more mature when he went through all the problems in his life. A lot of times what happens with the people, when people go through difficult times, they get bitter towards God, bitter towards people, and a lot of them even leave God when those things happen in their lives. But Joseph, instead of becoming bitter, he became better. For a moment, let us put ourselves in Joseph's place. What will we do if we were in Joseph's place? Will we stand strong in our faith? Will we be still doing what is right? Even when we are tempted, will we be standing against those temptations? From Joseph's life, let us learn this lesson of standing firm in our faith no matter what. Even in the difficult times, even in the times which are good, we should be faithful to God. We should be doing what is right. Let us learn that lesson from Joseph. Next week, we will be learning from Moses' life. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you learned something today. God bless you.